Okay, let's talk about verbs, about the past tense. And there's another course I have that talks about the present tense. I'm going to assume you're already a little familiar with this. If not, take the other course or look it up. We're going to talk about the past tense in this video course. And it's going to be regular verbs first. And then we're going to go over some irregular verbs, which are a little harder. You're going to memorize them. But regular verbs always follow a certain pattern. So with the T and with the D. So there's two kinds of regular verbs. And they both follow a different pattern in the past tense. So first, let's look at the group that follows the T pattern. Okay, so raken follows that pattern. So here's the overview of how it gets changed into the past tense. Raken is to touch. Ik raakte, so I touched. Jij raakte, same thing. You touched, singular. Hij, zij raakte, same thing. He, she touched. Wij raakten, we touched. Jullie raakten, you touch. Zij raakten. Very simple. So raakte, and then with the N at the end for plural. And even though the Dutch don't always say the N at the end, so they could say wij raakten. And in writing you would put an N at the end, but in just saying it, you wouldn't even say it. So that's how they slack it off, unlike the Germans. So it's interesting that way, that maybe it doesn't even matter if there's an N at the end. Pakken, to take, or to get, right? To grab. Pakken. Ik pakte, I took. Jij pakte, same. You took. Hij, zij pakte. He, she took, same thing. Wij pakten, so it just has an N. We took. Jullie pakten, you took. Zij pakten, they took. So as you can see, it just has pakte, and then in the plural, it gets an N. And that's all there is to it. It's actually pretty simple. So these verbs are some examples that follow the T pattern, which is schoppen, is to kick. Schoppen, in the past tense, it becomes schopte. And of course, if it becomes plural, like you guys or we or they, then it's schopten with an N. Fietsen, fietste, ik fietste, jij fietste, hij fietste, wij fietsten, means to ride a bike or biking. Zetten, ik zette, but then you don't have to have like 3 T's or something, so you just say zette. Zette, and then in plural it gets an N. Plaatsen, ik plaatste, to place. Werken, ik werkte, to work. Maken, ik maakte, to make. Aren't you glad that the word make is regular? So, beven, ik beefde, to shake or shiver. Kleven, ik kleefde. So you can see the pattern here with the V and with the double K, to cleave or stick. Plakken, which means to paste or glue. Ik plakte. Then there's some verbs that follow the D pattern. So they're always split up into one of these two categories. And vullen, to fill, is one of those. So it would be ik vulde, I filled. Jij vulde, you filled. Hij, zij vulde, he, she filled. So it's all the same, right? You can see that. There's just DE. Instead of TE, it's DE. Wij vulden with DEN, because it's plural. We filled. Jullie vulden. You filled in plural. Zij vulden. They filled. So as you can see, it's very simple. It's just like the T, except it has a D. And in plural, it gets an N. So here are some examples that follow the D pattern. Antwoorden. So in this case, to put a double D at the end. So ik antwoordde. But you don't have to say de. You say ik antwoordde. Okay, so that's how you say I answered, to answer. Horen, to hear. Ik hoorde. Jullie hoorden. You guys heard. Rennen. Ik rende. I ran. To run. Verven. Ik verfde is to paint. Willen is to want something. Ik wilde. Sometimes they say ik wou, but that's more like I wished something. But ik wilde, jullie wilden, wij wilden. Leggen is to lay or put something down. Hey, leg dat terug. Put that back. Ik legde mijn telefoon op de bank. I laid my phone on the couch. That's what you say. Ik legde mijn telefoon op de bank.